if you guys can see it up there, but as I'm pulling out of the alley here, heading out to the fishing location, you can see the full moon. That's pretty cool. Alright, I'll see you at the lake. Look at all that traffic, guys, coming into the Metroplex. So I'm heading out since I'm on fall break. We don't have any school, but look at the traffic is just coming in. So these are people that commute in from all the small towns. And you can see it's just, and we're at like 6:30 in the morning. Look at all these big trucks, you got cars. When we get up to the top of the hill, you'll really see how that is. I mean, it's just wall to wall cars. Now, of course, we're heading out away to get to where the lake is. You don't see any of that traffic. I mean, we have some traffic here with us, but not nearly like that. Right in here close, guys. Check it out. On a little Big Joshy on an underspin. There we go. Check that out. Welcome back, fishing friends, to another adventure. That was my very first cast out here into the sun. I figured, you know what? I'm gonna work this dock a little bit, although I don't like the amount of pressure this thing gets. I'm back out here where I was the other day. This is a new spot for me and I love exploring it. Ooh, had a couple of bites there. Hey, if you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. My name's Alan. I appreciate all the support. I'm usually making some kind of fishing video. I'm sorry you're having to look into the sun. We had a cold front come through, and here it'll be a cool front, but it is in the low 50s. I've got a sleeveless hoodie on. But I've got this little underspin with a real small Big Joshy swim bait on it. There we go. Here's a little bit bigger one. Easy. Yeah, I'm gonna need the pliers for this. There we go. Oops, gotta watch your footing there. Always sketchy footing. Check out this guy. A little bit of blood there. He's not too bad. See the forest in the background? All right, there we go. So I got my usual bass setups. Well, he really put a number on this thing. my usual bass setups with me today, but I was testing line here the other day, that 5-pound Sunline Sniper. This one's just my regular 12 and 12. I'm working it through because it's, there we go. Oh, I had a hit and he missed it. Because how that little blade flickers. There was another hit. How that blade is flickering is going to make all the difference. There's some big crappie that hang around the dock, but haven't been able to get one of those to try to bite. There we go. Maybe that is one. Nope, that's another one of these little dudes. Boy, these are all in here thick as fleas. Which I don't mind. Ooh. Here's another one. These are good eating too. It's a little white bass. There you go, buddy. Trying to put a piece of gum in my mouth. And I had to use the 2 fingers I didn't touch the fish with. So as I was saying, guys, thanks for hanging out with me today and supporting the channel. Oh, there we go, another one. Is this going to be a regular bass? Another white bass. Ooh, and he's barely hooked. There we go. Check that out. Another little guy right there. Okay, as I was saying, thanks for supporting the channel. It is cool today. A nice little cool front came through. Cold front up in Iowa. They got a really hard freeze. But here it'll be a cool front. It'll top out in the low 70s. Ooh. Well, these fish are just all in here. Wanting to munch on this. It's just one of those little Joshies. It's a big Joshy, but the small size with a little underspin. I had been throwing the Meps through here. I said, you know what? I don't throw the big Joshy enough. I'm going to throw it. I'm not cranking too particularly fast. Just enough. There we go. I kept on pop, 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 pop. And then I got him. They must be competing down there for it. There we go. Oh. There he is. I don't have much of a grip on him. Right there. The thing is, I don't want them to be in the, got this sand all over my hands. I don't want them to have their eyes exposed to that sunlight for very long, because they're not used to that, you know. So we're gonna go out a little bit deeper and see what we get. I'm trying to kind of be cognizant of that. Yeah, the wind's out of the east-northeast, which means it's going to be blowing straight into my bank here. If I'm going to be fishing, that's always a plus. Here we go, we got another one. Just a quick little turnover there. So again, I'm working one way to the other. Man, these are just stacked up in here. Boy, he really got this one. The thing is with these is, if you get a bunch of these and a couple nice crappie, or a bunch of crappie and a few of these, you got yourself a good meal. Those are good eating. So I'm using the Mojo for this one right here. You can see the shoreline, there's a heron. Got some really nice forest here. The main lake is back over there. This is like one of the bays. I usually don't fish swim baits that often. But when I do, I usually have decent luck with them. You don't see me fishing them too much on the channel. I haven't been over down that stretch where I usually fish to see if those little schools of minnows are out. Yeah, that looks good right there. Man, that looks good. It's in whatever the shad color they have in the Big Joshys. I can't remember what they call that, but yeah, you can see the wind there. Blew that thing right off course. Ooh, there's a good one. That one, he was in real shallow. He's just coming along here. There he goes. And he drops right there. I did the turnover. Oh, this is going to be super slick right here. I got to be careful with that. Ooh, I'm going to have to get down on a knee. There we go. Right there. Ooh. Yeah, you can kind of see here, it's real sketchy down there. Boy, he was in real shallow. a thump, 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 thump. Here we go. Here's another one. This one feels a little bit bigger. All right, there we go. That's the biggest one I've got today on these.
Morning.
There we go. Check that one out. There's another one. Oops. He got hung on my finger when I threw him back in, and he did a little bounce. There we go. We got another one right there. Geez, guys, I'm starting to lose count. There we go. There we go. This one's got a little more weight to it. Let's see what this guy's got going on. Maybe this feels like a largemouth. Boy, that's the biggest one yet. Check out the size of that one, guys. That's a gorgeous fish right there. Gotta watch his eyes for the sun, but there we go. Same thing, just running it through, right through there. Here we go, guys. Here's another one. This one isn't real close. Same deal, Big Joshy. But check it out. On my little jig, they took the eye out. So I'm down to just one eye. There was one, I missed him. Here we go. This one feels a little bit bigger. easy. Fumble, fumble. Come on. There we go. Alright guys, check out this little craw. A bunch of companies make little craws, like Rebel is probably the most famous. Arky has theirs. This one's a Creme. I've never used one by Creme. These are from like the little bargain bin at Walmart. They're like $1.25 or something. So I got this one and a real red one. So we're gonna fire this out there. See if this will work. The problem is there's so much wind. I don't know how this is gonna really pan out with this 5-pound Sunline FC Sniper. Oh yeah, check that out, man. It looks pretty good down there. I just gotta wait between gusts to cast it out, I think. Pretty good. There we go. Geez, even with this wind, this 5-pound Sniper does really well. Alright guys, on this Creme little Craw, got a nice hit here. There we go. Alright. Let me get up here because I'm going to be dealing with these treble hooks. Carefully get these. Okay, there's one. There's the other. All right. Good little fish right there. This little shelf right, normally the water's right up here, but you can see how deep it would get. I mean, it just drops straight down, and even goes down even further. All right, so on this little Creme Walmart bargain bin, little Craw here. Boy, and this line is just a real champ, this Sniper. There we go, on the Crawdad. Switch to the really red one. All right guys, check out this one, super red. We're gonna try this guy. So now you know that those bargain basement little Creme, Rebel, even even archy little lures like this are gonna work. There we go. Look at that. Oh, this one's something different. This is a little largemouth. Oh, check that out. All right, there we go. Come on, buddy, I'll get you out. Just sit tight. There we go. There we go. That's a little largie right there. Alright, another one on this royal red is what I'm going to call it. Fire red craw. He's a pretty good sized fish. Not too shabby. Oops. Got a bumble. Come on, buddy. There you go. Alright, we're going to switch to one more lure. We're going to see what happens. Alright guys, that's old school gold right there. It's a dinky little bomber. I don't know what they call them. Maybe a tiny A. Yeah, looks pretty good. Looks like a little minnow. It's got good action in there. Tiny A, guys. Just bang. Oh my gosh, check that out. That is money right there. There we go. There was that dude on the dock crappie fishing, and he didn't last very long. I think he said it was cold. You know, me spending all my time in the summers in Iowa and being up there in the wintertime, this feels nice to me. You know, we're like in the high 50s, low 60s. So I'm running this through here in case a crappie sees it, wants to come up and just hammer it. Well, I don't ever really throw too many micro bombers. But man, this little guy's pretty good. There's some popped it. So for the two Creme craws, I'm giving thumbs up. Into this bomber mini, I'm giving a thumbs up. Now I realize I haven't caught any trophy fish, but I'm here just testing lures, you know what I mean? Kind of a tiny guy, but he still got it. Easy. Easy. There we go. Tiny dude. Alright, let's change colors. I got another one of those old school bombers in a blue. Let's see how that does. Alright guys, check out this color. Same deal, little bomber. Really small. Boy, these paired up with this 5-pound FC Sniper. Pretty good. The other thing is, see how the wind is blowing everything in here? Alright guys, on this blue bomber, I had a couple of these Parks and Wildlife guys show up. They were just doing their morning check, and they were asking how the fishing was going. I said, yeah, fantastic. I'm getting to test some lures. There we go. Fantastic fish. All right. So the bomber's working. I'm going to try one more little one that I tried the other day. It's a dinky little Strike King. And actually I'm going to test an XPS one first. Little XPS lipless. We're going to see how that goes. Then the Strike King one. Alright guys. On the Strike King. I started with the Strike King first because it was right there in the box. I got to get to my other box to get the XPS one. He came right off. Let's go. There we go. Another decent fish right there. Let me show you this Strike King one. Check that out. Look at that. I'm convinced it's the eyes, guys. Look at that. Terrific. On the Strike King. I threw it in that little section to try to entice a crappie. But nothing doing with the crappie. Breeze feels nice. There we go. Another little cookie cutter. There he goes. Ooh. Man, if this, look how that flashes in out here, down there. I'm using a little speed clip because I'm changing so many lures. I was just pitching right into there. And this thing will shake on the way down. And I'm hoping a crappie will just crush it. Sometimes I'll give it a little twitch. A little bit of cabbage, huh? Come on, get off of there. On this head. red-eye shad. There we go. Nice little fish. There we go for the release. Oops. He was gripping my finger on that one. He didn't want to come off of there. All right, so we've established that this XPS works great. I mean that this Strike King red-eye shad works great. Oh, look at that right there. I'm gonna switch to the XPS. There we go. You can hear the rattles in there. Nice little fish. See how he's got a grip on my thumb? There we go. Now we're going to switch to the XPS. All right, guys, there's the XPS right there. Now, this is 2.5 maybe, but they had them on a deal right before, it was about this time all the way to Christmas, where Bass Pro Shops, you know how they just start dropping price on their in-house stuff. And so I got a red one, and man, I was whacking fish on that. So I went back and I got the rest of them. I got like a chartreuse one, this one, and I never have really fished them since. So we're gonna run it through here. It's got a lot of weight to it, and so I've never seen them since. Ooh, he got whacked right there. I've never seen them since. Yeah, they got other ones. Maybe just because my store, it's a store in the Cabela's. And maybe they just didn't, I gotta be careful here. Maybe they just didn't restock them, but I've been in there and they've stocked everything else in there, but not those. They don't have them in that size anymore. There we go. There you go, buddy. All right. Guys, it's just like a clinic on microfishing here. And this 5-pound line is just a champ. We just had something bust on the water over there. Right there. This thing's got a ton of weight on it too, so it's very castable. I kept buying them and buying them. I'd go back in there, they'd have a few more that were still left. Nobody was buying them, so then I'd buy them. And I was like, well, heck, I'm gonna just keep buying them. Every time I go in there, and then finally they were gone, you know? I mean, I'd buy a bunch of them and eat like 5 at each time I would go. There we go. Oh, he's off. Well, that was just a big whack right there. See, the other thing, ooh, there we go, it's full moon. So I think the fish are all fired up. So what have I caught? Like about, I don't know, like 30 of these, 20 of these, and that one largie. bit bigger. He's fighting a little more. Yeah, he is a little bit bigger. Boy, and they get much bigger than this. Are you kidding me? I left the pliers over there. All right. Oh, you're right here. Ooh. Here we go. That's a nice fish right there. Nice chunk. There you go, buddy. Off he goes. Alright guys, I moved over here to see if we're gonna get the same luck over here. Oh, way more shallow. Yeah, I'm hitting bottom. There we go. These fish are just super actively feeding. Let's get you up here. Let me get these hooks out. There we go. Guys, I finally had one on that was pretty dang big and he got off. He just threw it. I kept him from jumping, but he still did the head shake. Oh, there we go. It's a good fish right there. Maybe it was the same guy and he came back for it. Ooh! There he goes. Well, I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move down to that far bank where I usually fish. See if we can get a couple largemouth. This may be a Ned rig kind of a day. Spinnerbait kind of a day. Ooh, boy, it just got clocked right there. You guys see that? Pow! Well, that's a real dandy right there. Let's get him up here where I can handle him. Come on. Ooh, that breeze. There we go. That's a nice one. Alright guys, I'm trying out a mystery lure. We think it's a Rapala. And then my buddy Blake over at Dark Corner Customs, it was one that I got in an eBay special with a whole bunch of lures. And he there you can see the DC on there. So he repainted it for me and put some vector hooks on there. Right there, DC. It's like it's got to be a little Rapala. This little Philo whacked it. I keep trying to entice the crappie by the dock. Nothing doing, so then I cast over here, my little Big Joshy sweet spot. Sure enough, he was waiting for it. There's one right down there, with like a foot from the bank. So these travel in big schools, big packs. Hundreds of them. Oh. But this one's peel and drag. Maybe finally we got a crappie on here. Nope. Let's go. What's a big boy? What? He swiped that and it got him on the top of the head. Fish right here. Very nice. All right, we're gonna head over to our sweet spot along the bank. We'll keep this minnow tied on. All right, guys, we're at our little stretch here. Boy, the wind is just really whipping over here. Ooh, got the old stick fish. Throwing the Joshy around. I've got the dead cat on the GoPro, which kind of mutes some of that wind, but not all of it. So the guy's back on the dock doing some crappie fishing. Hopefully he has some luck over there. Alright guys, the wind is really picking up. I was throwing a bomber, suspending Bill Dance bomber, white color. Not much going on there. Nothing else on the Big Joshy. So now I'm throwing a lipless rattle trap. Ooh, that looks good. There she is. Look at this wind. I just barely flickered the wrist and she gone country mile. Gotta watch out for wind knots, but I have my drop shot gear, but there's no way I'm going to be able to do any drop shotting in this chaos. Oh, I got something. Oh, there's just the line got kinked up. Jeez Louise. Let's go, let's go. Next thing I'm going to do is just run a jig, the Beast Coast along the bottom. Alright guys, on the rattle trap in this heavy wind. I don't know how I'm gonna play this. That's just tricky. Tricky. thought it was a big bass, how it hit. I was like, this is it. Alright guys, we're hooked up on the rattle trap. I was doing that same thing, just burning it along. Today, hadn't it? There we go. For the release, he gone. There we go, guys. On the rattle trap, boy, it just clocked it. Be the largemouth. Nope, it's a big white bass. Let's get him up here. Boy, that's a nice one. This one is the biggest one of the day, I think. Settle down here. Check that out. That's a nice fish right there. Let's get it back in there. Well, he just clocked that rattle trap. I got him up out of here, out of the wind, because, I mean, up on the, way up here on the bank, because of all the slipping and sliding down there. Oops. Get this guy in some water. Clean him up a little bit. Just your typical trap. Boy, this thing has caught fish just for years and years. This one's a one knocker. All right, one more good cast and I'm gonna switch to a jig and bounce that along the bottom. All right guys, here's a baby dozer. I had been picking this because of the wind and the weight, but I've got it on a little 3-inch Lunker City Karate Craw. So this I'm just gonna drag along the bottom, make my way into that corner. Sometimes when it's windy like this, you can have some good results with that. Check that out. It does show up really nice. Look at that. See, I can flip it, don't have to worry about the wind. Let it hit the bottom and just drag it through. Crying out loud, guys. I had a titanic strike on the baby dozer. And it just broke me off down there. I think it was a monster catfish. Dang. I'm all looking at the sky. Good grief. Boy, he took everything. That had to have been a big catfish because I was bouncing along the bottom and then just whack. 2 head shakes, started cranking, and then pink. That was all she wrote. All right, guys, I switched to the OW Sniper, the smaller version. I've been pitching it for a while, nothing. I cannot fathom what happened jumping with that. Well, I mean, I guess I can. I think it was just a huge catfish, because everything's blowing into this bay here. And I mean, I didn't even get a chance to really do anything. My drag set, I don't know, the whole thing is just crazy. So I've been working along the shoreline here, just kind of hopping it. I think this one is the Mothman color, maybe. I got a Great Lakes finesse craw on the back of that little snack craw. So the other day I was out here, I whacked a nice bass on this. So we're trying to replicate that. On the Demiki 200, guys. Check that out, boy. I moved over to this other spot here and I thought I had a snag. It was right at the bank. I was like, what is this? There he is. Boy, that was weird. Just tink, 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 and then he was on. I like throwing this one in the Demiki 100. So I'm just running it through here, so. One thing I do notice is there are some snags down there. I love throwing these baits. They're smallmouth catching machines. They're just a lot of fun to throw. She's already digging down there. It's just down there perfectly. Close again, guys. Right in here close up. This time on the Demiki 100. Uh-oh. I think he swam into some cabbage. How am I going to get him out of here? He's got me hung up on something. I can feel him on there. He's gonna have to swim his way out. It's like a tree root. Come on. All right, guys, after 30 minutes of finagling, the line broke and he just wouldn't come out of whatever he was wrapped around down there. I didn't see the lure come up. Man, that was crazy. So I'm switching to this spark shad on a Meps, a hot orange Meps. Single hook. I'm starting to wonder now about these snags down there. I'm gonna have to relocate to the, uh-oh. I got a wind knot right out of the gate because I let the line get too dry, you know, when I was retying and doing all my stuff. Eek. Let's see if I can get it undone. It's crazy. If the line stays moist, I don't really get wind knots too often, but I kind of forced that cast. Now, since the spark shad has a little tail on it, it's gonna lift the lure up, so I gotta crank really slow to keep it down there. I'm gonna be tempted to burn it. I'll try to burn one from this corner in, and we'll see what happens. Maybe I can burn it and then stop, let it get back down there, and then burn it. Alright guys, I've been out here for hours and hours. Now I'm back where we started. I'm going to throw this little Strike King. Oops, almost landed that on the dock. I think the schools have moved out now into deeper water. But we'll see. Oop. Do we got one? Looks like we got one. So I guess they're still around. Boy, there's just so many of these. The thing is, I wonder if they choke out the largemouth in here. Yeah, let's go. There we go. There he is. Oop, I got another one. Maybe I got a crappie this time finally. There we go. Oh, I do have one more lure I want to try. The old beetle spin. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to switch to the beetle spin. I forgot all about that. Alright guys, this is a little jig spinner from Mr. Twister, but the lure is a grub buster from Lunker City. I love how thick they are. They're durable. Essentially, this is a beetle spin. I hadn't thrown it today. How did I forget about throwing this? I've got a bigger version that I could throw for bass. Oh, look at that right there. Jeez Louise. It's another one of these dudes. I'm in crappie territory. I was hoping to get a crappie. Oh, I don't need to use the staging platform here because this guy doesn't have tribbles. There we go. I got different colors of them, but that's that cool chartreuse color. All right, now we're gonna switch to the bigger version. That's what that looks like. I've got an orange one too, orange kind of chartreuse. But let's switch to this other one. All right, there it is. This is super fat. I love that color right there. Let her get down there. Nice easy crank. Well, guys, they're not digging this bigger size. So I'm going to switch to a big, full-size rattle trap one more time to see if I can entice a largemouth. Finally be the largemouth. This is a good fish right here. Nope, it's another one of these. Boy, it's a good size one too. I switched back to the Strike King. This little red-eye shad, guys, I'm telling you, I think it's the eyes on this thing. I think it's the eyes on that bait, guys. Check that eye, it's not bad. There you go, Mr. Fish. Boy, I ran the bigger size rattle trap through here, not even a sniff. So I've never really thrown Strike Kings consistently, but there it is. I think it's the eyes on there. So this year's when I really started to throw them. So look at this, I got ants biting me. So this is the first year really. I mean, I've thrown them once or twice here or there over the years, but nothing like this. Man, I got all caught up when I was taking that fish out. There must be like a little ant nest there. Look at this. Another one right in here by the shore. Let me see. Is there an ant's nest? Oh, there is an ant's nest right there. Alright guys, the GoPro battery died when I released him. I gotta tell you something, I've never had a day like this ever with white bass, ever. Man, that looks good in the water. So the flash, and of course I'm thinking it's also that eye. I'm a firm believer in that because I love that the spark shads have that pronounced eye on them for the soft plastics. What is the wind dying down now? Wow, I've been out here this long that the front came through with all that crazy wind, and now the wind's dying down. Oh, there we go. I'm telling you guys, it's just one right after another. This ultralight bonanza. There's another nice one. There we go. On the Strike King, right in here about a foot deep. I saw him, the flash come in, and he just crushed it. All right, you're barely hooked. So we're gonna try to get this without going to the staging location. There we go. I keep trying to lure in crappies, but none of them are just hitting anything around the dock. The dock, guys, he's swimming way out here. No, it's not a crappie. I was gonna say this could be the crappie, but it wasn't. Staging area. Easy. Decent one. Maybe, maybe not. Oh yeah, it's a nice little fish. Boy, look at that. He just hammered that head first. Whew. All right, let's get him out of here. Alright guys, my review for this little Strike King, tiny little red eye shad. 2 thumbs up for sure. I didn't get any crappie yet, but man, this is a terrific lure. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for me for today. Thanks for hanging out with me. This is definitely a historic day for me. I'm not even kidding. I've never caught this many of them, and I had a feeling to come out to this spot. You know, it's new for me, and I just, you know, it was so much fun. I got to test all kinds of lures, from the bombers to the cream craws to all kinds of stuff. So thanks for hanging out with me today. Hey, until next time, I will see you then. Bye-bye. Now get out there and get your lures wet.